Hey everyone, Miss Simmons here. Today I'm going to show you how to make some pets inspired by the artist Paul Klee. Take a look at this dog. Look at how the colors are spread all around, and it creates a great level of balance. We're going to do that, and I'm going to show you how you could make it a little personal and add some little sweet touches. Let's talk about what supplies you're going to need. Remember, you can pause the video and rewind the video anytime you need to. You're going to need a white piece of paper. And you'll notice this one's a lot smaller than my finished picture. It's a little bit larger because it's one I did a few years ago. An optional choice is something to trace to make a circle. I have a little lid here. You'll need crayons, a pencil, a black marker, and then some kind of paint or marker or other item to color your background when you're all finished. Now I can set that to the side. I'm not going to need my paint for a while. We're going to start with our circle and our pencil. You could also use the marker to do the drawing because the drawing part is pretty easy. But I'm going to use a pencil for now. Start by tracing your circle, not down in the middle, but up a little higher. You're making a head. There we go. Then give it a body. 1, 2 lines to make our body. Now you can choose if you want to do a cat or a dog or any other type of animal, but I'm going to do a cat on this one since I have a dog right here that I can always flip back and show you. For the dog, I like to make the ears rectangles and the nose square, but for a cat, I'm going to make triangles for my ears. And a triangle for my nose. Now, after I make my nose, I'm going to draw a line straight from my nose up to the middle. And then I'm going to make the 2 sides of the mouth coming down. One goes to the left, one goes to the right. Right here, you can decide if you want to have some little teeth or maybe a little tongue. I like to do a tongue. And then you can choose what kind of eyes you want. I'm going to make mine triangles. Now, let's give our cat a collar. And pick a simple pattern to put on the collar, like some nice big stripes or polka dots. I had polka dots on my dog's collar. Underneath the collar, draw 2 little lines. And then choose some kind of tag to be hanging from your pet's collar. It could be any shape you want. Because this is a cat, I'm going to make mine shaped like a fish. Then draw a line right to the bottom. You're going to want to divide up the spaces that are really big. So, each side of the body and the 2 ears. You can do this in a lot of different ways. I like to just use straight lines and keep it very simple. Like that. And then maybe over here, I'll put my line across lower, so that I have some nice little spaces. And I'll do the same thing up here. Make some little spaces in my ears. There we go. Now I haven't drawn the whiskers yet. I think it's best to wait until you get out your black marker at the end to do the whiskers because they get kind of lost when you're trying to color and things like that. The next step is the really fun part. You want to choose 5 or 6 colors. I'm going to pick 5. I like this reddish brown color. You want to pick colors that relate together. Colors that look like they would be next to each other on the color wheel. So if you pick a blue, you might want to pick other blues, greens, and violets. Or if you pick green, you might want to do a lot of yellow, blue, those kind of colors. Or you can just pick whatever 5 colors you want, but you want to make sure you're only choosing 5. I'm going to do some kind of pinks and browns for my cat. Maybe a little red too. I've got a nice brick red right here. And some pink. One more color. Let's see. It's so hard when you have so many choices. Here we go. A nice burnt orange. There we go. I've got 5 colors now. I can close my box up. You're going to start with your first color, but you're not going to just color it in. You're going to color all around. We're creating balance. We want this color to be spread out all around our paper. So I'm going to come to each part that I drew, and I'm going to color a little bit in every section. On my head, because it's a little bit bigger, I'm actually going to put more than one spot. Now, when I finish with my color, I'm going to put it away because I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to put it right back in my box. Then I'll take my next color and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to color a little bit in every area so that I slowly start to fill up my whole cat. You want to make sure you're taking your time and really doing a nice job coloring it in. I'm going a little bit fast, so mine's a little messy, but that's because I don't want you to have to watch me color real slow all day long. All right, 3 more to go. I really like this dark red color. Now, if you are having trouble seeing your pencil lines, you can always trace them with the black marker before you color. The crayons will not cover up that black marker. So if you want to trace it before you start coloring so that you don't lose your lines, that's always a good idea, especially if you're in 1st grade or kindergarten and you're trying to follow along, doing the black first might help you out a lot. Now you'll notice I'm not coloring my collar or my tag or my tongue or my eyes or my nose. I'm going to save those parts and I'm going to choose colors that really make those things stand out, because those are my little personal touches where I got to make choices in my art. So I want those parts to really stand out when people look at them. Since I did lots of browns and pinks and reds for my cat, I'll probably choose purples or blues for my nose and my eyes. Okay, 2 more. Now that I'm starting to fill it up, I have to make sure I leave room for my last color. I'm going to leave that ear spot for my last color. I have to push a little bit harder with this pink. It's not going on quite as smooth as my other crayons. Sometimes that happens. Okay, now with my last color, I am going to fill in any spots that are left in my cat's ears, head, and body. There we go. Now I can choose some different colors for my nose, my tongue, my collar. I think I'm going to make my eyes this nice blue violet. Ooh, that really stands out against that red. Pretty purple nose for my cat. This cat's been getting into the catnip. He's got a green tongue. Green and purple are my favorite colors. I just love the way they look together. There we go. Now, once you finish coloring, then you want to take your black marker and you want to trace over all your lines to really make them pop. marker's starting to dry out. Oh no! I can make it work. This is also when you're going to want to add your whiskers. Now my marker is clearly starting to wear out, so I'm not going to finish tracing this whole friend right here. I'll move on and show you the next step. But if it was all nice and dark like his ear up here, it would have looked excellent. I'll go ahead and throw that marker in the trash. Now, the last part is the background. I like to paint our background using any kind of watercolor paint. Since I made this cat so red and orange, I'm going to use blue to paint mine. You can use any kind of paint that you have, and if you don't have any watercolor paint, you can also use markers to do a nice light color and then brush over it with some water and the marker will spread around. But you want your background to be a little bit lighter than your animal so that it stands out. And you'll notice that because I'm using watercolor paint, I can brush over it, and it's okay if I get a little on his ears because it just wipes right off. Because the wax in the crayons is going to resist all of the water in the paint. It's going to push it away. So I don't have to worry about accidentally getting paint on my cat because the water won't stick to the wax in the crayons. And there you have it. A Paul Klee inspired cat and dog. I can't wait to see what you create. If you're working for us at school, make sure you send me a picture on Canvas when you're done. Have a great Gator Day.